Joder opened the door. He found a man wearing armor from head to toe. Joder asked him suspiciously,
"Who are you? And what you want?"
The man answered him.
"Is this how you receive guests?"
Joder invited him to come in modestly. The man sat down and said,
"My name is Marwan. I have come to see the man who kidnapped the daughter of the king of the jinn and brought ruin to our world."
Joder was surprised by Marwan's words. He commented in fear.
"I brought ruin upon the world. What do you mean? Who directed you to my place?"
Marwan replied,
"Do you really want to know? Or do you want to stop the king's advance?"
Joder replied,
"If you want me to give my wife to that man, forget. I will never sacrifice my wife."
Marwan said,
"Even if we return her now, it will be too late. I want you to take me into their world. The king's advance must be stopped before he entered our world looking for you."
At this moment, Malik entered and interrupted them, saying,
"I will go with you. I can change my father's mind."
Marwan laughed and said,
"My lady, do you think that the king cares about you or your sisters? You are just an excuse for him to control our world. People like him only confess by force."
Malik bowed her head. Because she knows her father well, so Joder quickly said,
"By force? Why do you think you are able to fight a jinn king?"
Marwan replied,
"Who said anything about fighting him? I want to stop him from entering our world by barricading the gates."
Joder replied,
"I don't understand why you want to fortify the gates. How will you protect it? The most important question is, how do you know all this information?"
Then Malik said,
"The jinn lives in another dark land. And when they cross into this land they become invisible. And all their powers are taken away from them. Unless they belong to one of the witches, like the stick you used against my sister. That's why you find them disguised as a human or an animal. But if they enter through the gates, they enter in their full appearance. But the gate guards prevent them from entering except for specific reasons. Like kidnapping a jinn princess, for example. Do you understand now why I told you that you don't know what you're getting yourself into?"
Marwan added,
"You forgot something, ma'am. If one of your parents is human, you will not need the gates to enter."
Then Joder remembered the female fighter and said,
"So your island warriors. They are in fact the king's army. Who can cross to us without the gates?"
Marwan said,
"We have talked at length. You must take me to the gate now. We don't have time."
Joder and Marwan rode 2 horses. And they went to the fairy palace. When they arrived, they entered the palace. And Joder called to the fairies. But no one answers. Joder began searching around the palace. Then he found the old father of the fairies, covered with wounds. He asked him about what happened to him, and he replied,
"The king's eldest son has come, and he took my daughters. Please, my son, save them. They will kill them."
Joder was saddened by the way things turned out. And he asked the old man,
"How can I return them? How can we fortify the gates?"
The old man said,
"Fortifying the gates will not benefit you in anything. The king intends to open it now. His son killed the gate guards. They are now preparing to attack the other gates. He will use my daughters in rituals to open the gates. Take the head of the evil sorcerer and take him out of the palace area. His head will come back to life. And ask him about the location of the ring of power. The ring of Solomon the Wise. Those gems he was collecting were to make a portal to our land. But beware of him, for he is an evil deceiver. There is 1 month left until my youngest daughter turns 50 years old. Then they begin the ritual. You must hurry.
And the old man died. Then Jawdar became angry and said,
This is all because of me. Everyone warned me, but I kept my head down. How stubborn I am.